We're talking with Jason Coombs, who is the artistic director of the Bridgeport Film Festival that's about to get underway in a couple of weeks. And we're going to be talking with Christina Smith, who is president, CEO, executive director of Bridgeport Groundwork. And they are so involved with this wonderful thing that they're coming up with, and that's the Bridgeport Film Festival. Jason, welcome back to State of the Arts. And Christina, welcome for the first time. How are both of you?
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi,
I'm
thank
great,
you for having us.
thank you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Now, don't be bashful. Just come right in and tell us what's going on. Jason, you were with us a few weeks ago, and we were talking about the initial stages of presenting all of this. What has transpired since then that brings you closer? I think, you've got 2 weeks before you actually open.
Yeah, we opened exactly 2 weeks from today on Friday, July 23rd at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
So we have over 70 films.
7-0?
Over the course. Yep, 7-0.
Okay.
Mostly shorts, but we are having a couple special films as well. The shorts consist of, there's a Black Stories film block, there's a women-led film block, there's a LGBTQ film block. There are films made during the pandemic that we're calling the Lockdown Diaries. Which is really cool.
Yeah.
And we're showing a special screening of Moana for children for free on Sunday of that weekend to close this out. We're also showing a special screening of a film called Unseen. It's a documentary by Liz Shapiro about a woman named Jamie Patrone, who is a wheelchair-bound artist, musical theater artist, and it's about her journey as an artist in a wheelchair. So we're super excited to share that. This Bridgeport premiere with us, and Jamie and Liz are going to be in attendance that weekend as well.
Oh, fantastic. Now, Christina, let our listeners know what you have been doing as far as Bridgeport Groundwork. What does that mean in your association with Jason?
So Groundwork was actually started as basically a community revitalization organization about 20 years ago, and I was hired just over 5 years ago to rebuild the organization. So there are about 20 Groundworks in the U.S. The one here in Bridgeport was one of the first started. We operate independently from one another, but we all essentially have the same mission about coming into communities that were once, prosperous because of industry, and then sort of fell on hard times after industry left. But as an organization focused on community revitalization, while we are known mostly for our environmental work and focus, the physical, the social is very important to me. So Jason and I met by happenstance, but we both had this interest in bringing a film fest to the city. And so this last year of working together to make this happen has been an exciting time for us, especially in the middle of a pandemic.
Oh, sure.
A couple of years ago, we actually hosted like a series of films, in the community. I think it was 2 summers ago through funding we'd gotten from AARP some years ago. And so to launch this independent initiative together with Jason, he's on our board, and our board has been very involved in this. We're excited about having something that brings people together for a social activity and to foster community in the city.
Okay.
Well, that's terrific. Now, where does the funding for an event like this come from? Because hearing 70 films and being shown, shorts, and workshops and everyththing else that's going to be happening, somebody has to be behind that.
Yeah, we've had a number of sponsors, and Jason will probably give more detail, but with a number of volunteers, we've probably had over 20, 25 volunteers helping us in all sorts of ways, both with identifying sponsors, as well as some grants, as well as a crowdfunding campaign. But I'll let Jason talk more about that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're fortunate to have, I think it's almost 30 volunteers between people who are watching the films, screening them, because we had over 380 submissions, almost 400 submissions, over the past year or so.
Right.
So that's a lot of hours to watch films. So we have about 20 people, watching them and rating them and, kind of putting them on like what we think would be fit the Bridgeport, Fairfield County audience. And then we had, volunteers helping us with getting sponsors because, it is a community event, but, we had to, there's a lot of work we had to do with this and to get funding and whatnot. we have some really great sponsors, WASU, the City of Bridgeport, Fairfield County Bank, People's Bank, Backstage, a lot of really, really amazing sponsors who've helped us out financially. And then people really believed in this idea that we had and wanted to support and wanted to bring more arts and culture. So, they really dedicated their time. And it's been such an awesome experience. I'm so thankful. I keep telling everybody every day, I'm just so thankful that this is working, because we've been playing this for so long, and through a pandemic was not the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, that's for sure. Jason or Christina, what do you hope will happen with this as far as the city of Bridgeport is concerned?
I would say that I hope, one, that people do attend this year, and that it definitely remains as a first annual event that we can host at the Klein for the next couple of years. But I'm hoping it also just puts us on the map as just another place for a cultural event of this level, and that helps to inspire, students and kids in the city who might be interested in film, or, production or anything along those lines. But really just, again, about bringing another annual event to the city that people can regularly count on and look forward to, on a yearly basis for their summer, where they're summer comes around and they're thinking, okay, not only they're thinking beaches, but they're also thinking hey, the film fest is coming, let's plan for that and show up and have a fun time. Really wanted to do the red carpet and make it something fun that people can get dressed up and get out of their house was kind of one of the big things for me, especially after being, locked up for a year with the pandemic.
Sure.
But I'm hoping, again, it's just, for us, it was really exciting a couple of years ago when we just did the 3 films and had people come out, and people really, really enjoyed it. And they're like, you guys should do this all of the time. So I think that's what I'm hoping for on my side, is that really just fostering community and bringing people together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've chosen the
all
perfect.
Of that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, you've chosen the perfect venue for a red carpet event, right? I mean, the
Klein is such a beautiful historic theater that we're so fortunate to have, and it's a 1,400 seat theater, so there's a lot of space for people to socially distance if they feel that's necessary. And it's historic and it's so beautiful, and we have a 30-foot screen that they have. So it's going to feel like being back at the movies. And I haven't been to the movies since early March of 2020. So I'm super excited to be back in the movie theater.
Yeah. Now, I know you're reaching out to the community, and you're eventually going to be giving scholarships to some students. What does that do for the Bridgeport Film Festival, reaching out to the community? Does that get you more people?
Oh, for sure. A big thing for me, someone who was, raised in Bridgeport, and, I'm an actor and a filmmaker myself, and I just want to have an opportunity for people,
Sure.
Bridgeport has a negative reputation sometimes. I wanted the people and the students, young people, to be able to change the narrative of Bridgeport, right, and to tell their own stories. And I feel like giving people access, right? If you want to be an artist, you want to be a storyteller, you need to have some kind of funding to pursue that.
Sure.
As well as a tool. So having the workshops and the panels, getting to meet other filmmakers and other artists is so important to me. And I think that's so necessary. And I think it gives people a seed that they can do this as well. Not just a pipe dream for people in Bridgeport if you want to pursue the arts.
Sure.
It's definitely a possibility to make it a reality.
And I have to say kudos to you in terms of dealing specifically with Black and brown filmmakers and female filmmakers that need to be represented.
Yeah.
And I love that about this event.
Yeah, that was a huge thing, because those are both underrepresented groups, in this community of filmmaking. And it's a lot of not having access to it. So how do we get people to learn and to have the access and make the connections, right, to get to know people? Because, entertainment business is kind of like who you know.
Sure.
Giving people to come here and to network and learn from them is such a great thing that we're trying to do here.
I think that's great. Now, people who buy tickets and everything, can they participate in these workshops as well? Is there anything that's closed to the public audience?
No, if you buy a ticket, you can participate in anything.
Okay.
So we have a bunch of different workshops. So Brian Hogan, an MFA professor at Sacred Heart, is teaching a screenwriting workshop on Saturday morning. We're having a couple 25-minute little short film seminars, how to shoot on your cell phone. The day on Saturday as well. We have different workshops. We have a Women in Film and TV panel.
Right.
That's going to happen on a Saturday afternoon. So we have some really awesome women from, some filmmakers and some people who work in documentaries that are coming and speaking about, what it's like being a woman in film. Like Francesca Andre, she's a former Bridgeport resident who made an amazing documentary called Charcoal, and Trish Clark, who's the president of Nutmeg Institute. Kristen Donaldson, she's an actress on Flatbush Misdemeanors on Showtime, who's going to come and speak. Some really, really amazing women. There's like 9 of them. I don't want to forget anybody. So.
Okay, no, that's all right. Now, what website can our listeners go to get more information about all of these workshops, all of these short films, and everything that's going on July 23, 24, and 25?
Yes, everything can be found on our website, bridgeportfilmfest.org.
Okay. Great. Jason Coombs, thank you so much for joining us again. We really appreciate it. And Christina Smith, who is the president, CEO, and executive director of Bridgeport Groundwork. Thank you for joining us for the first time, and thank you for joining Jason and making this a wonderful event that's going to be taking place in 2 weeks in downtown Bridgeport. Okay?
Yes, thank you so much.
For having
You're
us.
welcome. Thank you.
Have a wonderful weekend.
Okay.